Okay, how to overcome your anxiety of changing, of making a change in your life, for men and women that have got anxiety, that want to live their dreams and live each day in gratitude and have more confidence. So I've made a note here just to reflect on my notes, so apologies, I'm looking down. How to change when you want to change but you're scared to change in case people don't understand you. I overcame this fear after having a mental health breakdown, after being successful in business but not living my life right. So I've experienced this, I know the fear, it's a really terrifying fear, and I've helped a lot of clients through this fear, and I've seen it with people throughout my walk of life where it's hard to change because sometimes the people around us don't understand, and it can often be close friends, and that can be hard in intimate relationships with friends that we love. It can be family at times. It can just be the outside world, our own fears that, let's say for example, so there's a case where, let's say you drank alcohol your whole life and you drank with friends, but then you experienced God. I experienced God in hospital many times, or you had a breakthrough one day, you had a realization that you're giving up. So you decided to give up alcohol, which is great. You want to be better in life, you don't want to drink. But then your friends don't understand because they feel that you're judging them, and you're not judging them, you're just doing what's right for you. And it can make people feel scared that they're going to lose friends, or their friends are going to judge them or attack them socially or get upset, and that can really trigger the fight or flight fear. So that's an example. Another example is me. I changed my teaching. I taught a different teaching many years ago. Many people knew me for that, but I changed. I got older, I had a mental health breakdown, and I found my faith again. And I was always a believer in Jesus. I always believed in God growing up. I never announced it years ago. It was a personal thing. It just wasn't right. But I found my faith again through a challenging time in my life, which went on to be a blessing. And through that experience, it wasn't even I decided, I followed what God told me. Everything had to change. My teaching, my lifestyle, I had to change. And my life is amazing. My life's beautiful now. It's the best it's ever been. But I had the courage to go with that change, and a lot of people didn't understand my change. But what I've realized is they don't have to understand it, and I don't have to try to convince them. I just follow what's right for me and appreciate and accept whether people judge, whether they like it, they don't like it. It doesn't make any difference to me. I follow what God's called me to do and what my heart calls me to do. But that takes a lot of courage. You've got to be a very strong person to do that, because we don't realize how influenced we are by other people's opinions. And I always taught that in my earlier teaching and my new teaching. If you feel your life isn't the way you want it, and you're not happy with what you do, whether it's your career, whether people can, this is something that people find a hard time understanding. You could start off being a fireman and you love that and you're passionate and you're very successful, and you do it for 10 years and you become known for it and people like you for it. But then you realize one day that that's not who you are anymore. You want to change. You don't want to be a fireman anymore. You want to go on and be a singer. So when you start singing, people around you don't understand it, because they say, but he's a fireman, because they put their identity into yours, but that's not your identity. What we do is not necessarily our identity, because if that was the case, we'd be changing all the time. But it's something that we do. But who we are, that's something deep within that takes a lifetime to explain. You could say God, love, spirit. People say consciousness, whatever. So you can change, and no one can stop you other than yourself. But it is an anxiety that you're going to have to face. But I found it quite easy. Because of my faith, and when I want to do something, I don't care if the whole world doesn't agree with me again. I follow it, especially when I feel that God's encouraging me to do it and it's correct and it's right. And you go by feel as well when it feels right. So if it feels wrong, look, you can do a job, you enjoy it, it feels right. 10 years later, it doesn't feel right anymore. It gives you mental health problems, emotional problems, because you've outgrown it, you've changed. So we change. And if we don't go with change, we can get mental health problems. And that was a big reason one of the reasons why I had a mental health breakdown, because I wasn't teaching what I was meant to be teaching. I wasn't living right. And I realized that later on, and that experience I personally had with God. and I found my faith again, because I lost it for a long time. And this is some of my testimonies to Jesus Christ again. But I'm not forcing my faith on anyone, because I respect other people's faith, but this is my story. And this is why I'm so much happier now. My relationship with my dad has transformed, and that was hurting me for a long time. And other relationships has got better through Christ, through Jesus, through faith, and through having the courage to change. I had to change a lot of things about myself that I weren't proud of. And my life is so much better. My diet, my lifestyle. So you've got to have the courage to change. And my mentor helped me with this. It doesn't matter what people think. If people really love you and they care about you, they will respect your change, even if they don't understand it. So you're going to lose people. You're going to lose people when you change. People are going to criticize you, possibly hate you. Don't hate them. Forgive them. That's what I do. They don't understand. It's where they're at. And never stop someone else from changing for the better. If I've got a friend and he is a businessman and he suddenly decides that he doesn't want to do that more, he wants to take up another career or go and be a singer or a martial artist, I encourage him to do it, because that's how I treat people how you want to be treated. But not everybody's like that. Not everybody has that maturity. People put their identity in other people. Let's say, for example, one of my heroes, I've got many heroes, Les Brown. Now, Les Brown is famous for what he does. He's a speaker and a teacher and a motivational speaker and a trainer and a coach, and I love him. But I love Les Brown as a person, beyond what he does. If Les Brown decided he wanted to pack that up, I wouldn't turn against him. I'd still love him. I love him as a person. He changed my life. But not everybody has that heart. They're not in that place. So people will attack you and judge you when they've liked you for what you used to do. But when you change and you no longer do it, it can affect their identity. They feel like you're rejecting them and you're not. So it's having this awareness that you can change anytime you want. People can come out of a life of drugs and crime and go and live their life in a positive way. And I did that years ago. I got arrested for drug dealing when I was 19. And I stopped it. I nearly went to prison. I changed my ways and got into positive self-improvement and took up boxing and got a job as a postman. I've changed so many times for the better. So don't feel like you can't change because people know you as that person. You can change. That's the story of my faith of all great walks of life, of people. That's why I got into teaching, to help people to change their life and give them the tools to change if they want. I teach it to my client at the moment, helping him with his business and vision. But I said the skills and the life skills and the values and the integrity that I'm teaching you will set you up so in 10 years time you might want to change that, and you can do that. No one can stop you. So ladies and gentlemen, you can change. You don't have to be the person that you don't want to be anymore because your friends expect you to be that person. You can quit the addiction. You can change your career. Just because you've been doing something for 10 years and you're famous, you can change it. Don't worry about losing people. You gain more people. You gain better relationships, and appreciate everybody that criticizes you, because I love and forgive and appreciate. I might not agree with everyone who attacks me and criticizes me, because without that I wouldn't be the person I am. I wouldn't be growing. I wouldn't have to work on all the criticism that I've done, all the mistakes that I've made, that I need to be patient, and then you feel great. So how do we build the tools to do that? How do you do it? Well, I can tell you what worked for me, and you can pick what works for you. First of all, my faith is where I get all my strength. Secondly is, myself, my mindset, my character. Thirdly is about purpose and goals, daily discipline, exercising, boxing, martial arts, training, dieting, discipline. These things give you the strength to change. Boxing will do it, running will do it, faith, good friends, listening, getting a mentor, getting around mentors and wanting to do it. And the pain eventually will usually force people to change. If you're in the wrong life or the wrong job or the wrong teaching or wrong career, pain will tell you you'll get a lot of pain. And that's when you know you need to make changes. So change is possible for everyone, but it happens gradually. I didn't change my teaching in one night. It was gradual. I had to let go of an old identity and it died, and become more of myself and getting be aligned to what I feel God's called me to do and change everything, and then it feels right. So change takes time, but it's one of the biggest human fears, because as far as the mind's concerned, it's facing the fear of death. It's death of the old and it's birth of the new. But if you really want to do it, you can do it. And I encourage you to do it. And you have to be willing to lose friends. You have to be willing to accept criticism. But then you have to be willing to accept great friends or improve relationships and a lot of love, and you change the world. And that's a story of, that's the message of hope for everyone. We all want to change at some point. If you don't want to be the person you are, you don't have to be. You don't have to eat unhealthy. You can change your diet. You can get off an addiction. And you don't have to judge other people if they don't want you. They want to stay where you don't want to be. So it's all about changing you. You can't change anyone. You can't change their opinions. You can't force them to agree or understand. You don't need to. No one needs to understand. You need to understand yourself, and you need to agree with yourself and follow your heart and have a good opinion of yourself and not be influenced or affected by what other people think. And then you can make great changes and live a great life. And you can change any time. It's never too old. If you're watching this now and you're 70, you can change. 60, 80, 90, 100, 20, 30. Age don't play a part, but people they buy into that because the anxiety. I'm too old, I'm too young. Oh, I've always done this job, or I've always taught this, or I've always went to this place, I've always been in this gym. Change. Anytime I want to change my life, I change it, whether it's gyms, diets. If I feel I have to change relationships, I'll change, I'll let go of them if it's not right, but do it in love and kindness, and then you can change. And criticism's good. Criticism is character building, and obviously when people are hating and criticizing, it's because they don't like themselves, they're not happy, so don't join them. Forgive, just forgive, let go, don't feed. Okay, it's fine, you feel that way, I forgive you, it's no problem. We've all made mistakes. Wish you the best. Continue on your journey, living your life. And you'll be around good people, strong people that will support you, you'll support them, but ultimately you'll be able to support yourself and not rely on other people. So that's a little bit of my testimony and how I would encourage someone else to change. But find what works for you. Like I said, I don't push my faith on other people. That's not what I'm called to do. Unless they ask me, I'll share it. I respect other people's faiths, but that's how you do it on a practical level. And it's courage. You've got to face that fear, and you grow into it. Like any change, changing a diet, changing relationships and the way that you are, or a career. Just because you've been doing something for 10 or 20 years does not mean you can't change today. You can change it. You can move country if it's not right. People live in an area for 20 years, they think they can't change because they attach their identity to where they live, but it's not your identity. If it was our identity, then we'd be constantly this, that, this. You'd be a piece of chocolate cake if that's your identity. But don't make it an identity by having the courage to follow your heart and grow. We change and grow. What we did when we were teenagers, we're not doing as adults generally. Many things that I enjoyed when I was younger, I don't do them now, I grew out of them. So change usually occurs when a person no longer is right for where they are, what they're doing, which could have been what they used to enjoy doing, because they've grown out of it, they've matured, and they're on to the next chapter. So move chapters. Don't stay on the same page because you'll get depressed. And follow your heart. You don't need approval from other people. But if you need help, get a mentor that will help you and support your change. And I do it for my clients, whatever they need to change in their life. I help them to do it, and that is part of getting over anxiety and living your dreams. You can't overcome anxiety without changing. So that's how you do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll speak to you guys and girls soon. Have a great day. I'm going to have an awesome day today. I'm meeting a friend. Bye.